Wall Street Memes Casino,
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.
This is Colm McGuigan for IFLTV.
You are wanky, you are.
Donny Osmond. Do you know, how have I never thought of this before? You are.
What are you talking? Oh, you better start again because it's just started recording. It said.
Look at the photo I sent you of Donny Osmond, right?
No.
And look at the picture of yourself.
Why, when I opened this Zoom link, it said IFLTV featuring Donny Osmond. Wasn't Donny Osmond about 4, like with a fake tan and big tick? Like, I mean, what?
You're the tall Donny Osmond. Do you know
I'm
what?
tall Donny Osmond.
Right. See the photo of you that you done the shoot when me and Parsons were in New York? I forget what it was called. Whatever that was called. That picture and the photo I've sent you is Donny Osmond.
No one's ever said that to me before.
Oh, here, this is the start of it.
Fuck me. I ain't gonna go away, is it?
Right. We're pushed for time. I need to get to it. First of all, you spoke to Coogan about this card this weekend. I spoke to Frank Smith earlier about this card. We'll start with Diego Pacheco. I floated to Frank Smith the fact that Pacheco's kind of that bit behind Berlanga in terms of opponents. Is it likely if Pacheco comes through this on Saturday night that he faces someone maybe like McCrory or Quigley next?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think Jose Benavides said to me the other day, we want Plant, we want Berlanga, we want Charlo. But the problem is all those guys want massive fights and massive paydays. So are you going to take on a young 21-0 big puncher in Diego Pacheco? It's a gamble, and the financial rewards aren't there. So we have to build Diego so that it's a massive fight. And, he's got a good undefeated fighter in front of him on Saturday. I think he'll continue his knockout streak. Then we need to take him home to Los Angeles again. And you're right, we do need that guy in the middle. We need a name, right? We need a name where Caceres was a good start, but we need a name where people go, wow, big step up. I like that. And where people acknowledge that when Diego comes through, you're going to respect him as a big name at 168 pounds. I think the kid's a superstar in the making. I really do. And looking forward to seeing him fight on Saturday.
What's the plan with Hitchins? Is it going to be that he gets the winner of Mateus and Paro?
Yeah, this is a final eliminator for that spot. He's also well ranked with the WBC as well. I think Hitchins is, he's a real live dog in this division. He's from that same kind of era and Olympic team as Shakur and, Devin and all those kind of guys with USA boxing. And I think he needs to just produce something to get everyone's attention. We all know he's technically great, right? Really difficult to beat, wins a lot of rounds. Lemos is 29-0. He's rugged, he's tough, he can punch. Let's go and knock him out, and really make a scene in Las Vegas. It's a really good card on Saturday. Galao fight has got a tough fight as well. He's fighting a kid who's like 25-1, big puncher. Skye Nicholson's got a really tough fight for the world title, 1 against 2 with the WBC. Mark Castro's in with his first title against Abraham Montoya, who's actually got a win over Luis Alberto Lopez, the 126-pound world champion. So he can obviously fight as well. So this is like a lot of our guys that aren't next gen. They're banging on the door of being headlines themselves on big shows, and a big night for a lot of their careers on Saturday.
We do have to speak, obviously, you've covered with Coogan, but some comments from Ben Shalom that came out after, and I spoke to Frank Smith earlier on the back of those comments, and Frank said categorically the words he used in my interview, this one will go out before Frank's, were, I don't like Ben Shalom. He said that he met him 2 months ago. They sat down and it was really a session of where Ben Shalom said, well, why are you guys always coming for me in interviews? Ben's obviously came out, and the title, I think, of the video is that he wants to sit down with you and speak. Are you prepared to sit down and speak with Ben Shalom?
Yeah, I'll sit down and talk with anyone, but I don't see what, until you acknowledge that you're willing to take fights with our fighters, you're willing to allow your fighters to fight on DAZN, and vice versa, like we are, and we've already stated that, there's nothing really to discuss. I mean, Frank has an open dialogue with Ben Shalom. I think Frank just feels like Ben's a porky pie teller. That's all. And I don't like the whole, there's an agenda out against us. Oh, this is the reason why. It's not. There's no agenda at all. there's an agenda from Sky and Boxer to try and freeze out any matchroom fighters from getting any airtime or any publicity. I mean, you saw it most recently with Chev Clark, where he comes on screen. They've just cut the they've just cut the camera shot because it's like a matchroom alert, quick, down feed, quick. So, but the best way to describe it is there has been 5 fights, not discussed, ordered between Matchroom and Boxer. On 5 occasions, well, we're about to get it with Isaac Chamberlain, they have refused to either accept those fights. They've actually not even opened discussions around those fights. They've just pulled out. So, listen, I've got no problem sitting down. I've never met the guy. Yeah, I share Frank's opinion on some of it, but let Frank deal with him. I mean, these are the new young guns of the boxing world, and I'm just getting old and retiring. Let me and Frank Warren are just going to go for a pint of bitter and have a walk over the park. You know, let Ben and Frank have a little chat and sort all these things out, you know? So, but from my point of view, I think the reality is, the best way to describe it is, in these matchups, you've got Champions League and you've got Div 2 trying to get into Div 1, dreams of one day getting in the Championship. So of those 5 fights that were ordered, we win every one of them. And the basic reality is if a fight is ordered that you fancy and you think your guy's going to win, they're going to at least discuss it. Fraser Clark, they didn't think he could beat Fabio Wardley at the time. Pulled out the day of the purse bid. Richard Riakporhe, they knew he couldn't beat Jai Opetaia. They pulled out the world title shot. Beatrice Ferreira, they knew Caroline Dubois wouldn't beat Beatrice Ferreira. Pulled out of that fight for the world title as well. Adam Azim, they know he can't beat Dalton Smith. Pulled out of the fight. Isaac Chamberlain against Chev Clark. I mean, it's like Chev Clark don't exist. I mean, I love Vidal Riley, who's going, no, hang on a minute. You've been mandated to fight Chev. You fight him, and then I'll fight the winner. Oh, what? Chev, know anything about that? No, not much. Only that he's been mandatory for about 6 months, you know? So, and Ben hit the nail on the head. Why would I cash out Adam Azim against Dalton Smith? You know what that means? Why would I take the money and lose? Because I know he'll lose. Because Dalton Smith's world class, and Adam Azim is a good British level prospect who could go on and be a world class fighter. So I think honesty is the best policy. Just I think we just say, look, at the moment we don't have the fighters at the elite level, so we're going to do our own mini league over here, and then Eduardinho roams free with a Champions League up top. You know.
Let me play devil's advocate for a minute, though. Right? Is their decision to pull Fraser Clark out of that purse bid being vindicated in the fact that actually that was a really good event, an unbelievable fight? Fraser was clearly ready for it, and it was an even match.
He wasn't more ready for it than he would have been at the time. I think he also had like 1 fight in between. But the situation was they did it because they could do it on Sky. When it was a purse bid scenario, they didn't want to risk that. They didn't want to risk losing the fight. Sometimes it can play out well. Sometimes it can't. That played out okay for them. But also, Fraser Clark had a horrible time during that process. Like, they never protected him. Ask Fraser Clark how he felt around that time. He DM'd me. He was in bits. And I felt really bad for him because no one protected him. He was just getting abused on social media for pulling out the fight. Yet he was the one who wanted the fight, you know? So it's the same with Adam Azim. All Adam Azim's going to get now is stick. Adam Azim wants to fight Dalton Smith, I have no doubt. But I don't mind them pulling out of fights, Colm. But why let it go on for 2 months? And why pull out on the day of the purse bid or the day before the purse bid? It's just fuckery, really. So just be honest. Like Ben Shaloms text Frank, I don't know, a month ago, saying Adam Azim's not going to fight Dalton Smith next. Why not pull out then?
Do you believe that's the right move for Adam Azim at this point of his career, though? Because you're saying, in your opinion,
depends. I don't know how good. They'll know how good he is. In my opinion, he doesn't beat Dalton Smith. I've always said I don't have a problem with him pulling out the fight, but why go on for 2 months Say that he's going to fight Keyshawn Davis at Wembley. He's calling out all these top names in the sport, but he won't fight Dalton Smith in a massive fight for British boxing. And then you get Harlem Eubank to fly in on a couple of hours' notice to shove him in the ring when he hasn't even agreed a deal or signed a contract. And now, if I'm senior, right, Chris Eubank senior, who's not silly when it comes to this kind of thing, oh my God, I'm going to take boxers' pants down. It's going to cost you a fortune to get Harlem Eubank in the ring against Adam Azim. Because if they don't get that fight delivered now, they are going to look like even bigger plonkers, right? No, we're not fighting Dalton Smith because we've got this massive fight because there's Chris Eubank Sr. and Barry McGuigan. And that's why it's a massive fight. What the fuck's that all about? Anyway, so now you've got to pay up for Harlem Eubank. Harlem Eubank has won the lottery because he can name his number for this fight, and they're going to have to pay it. So, and by the way, I don't mind the fight. Again, these British level fights, they're fun. We just saw it a weekend. But don't pretend you're this unbelievable star fighter and you're not ready to defend your European title.
What did you make of Ben Shalom referring to Dalton Smith's commercial value?
I mean, the same guy that Ben Shalom was absolutely desperate to sign, frothing at the mouth trying to sign. I mean, he won the purse bid for a Dalton Smith fight, and this guy's the hottest star in British boxing. Then he found out he couldn't sign him, and now he hasn't got much commercial value. I mean, come on. If I haven't seen Adam Azim headline yet in anywhere bigger than the Baths at Wolverhampton. Dalton Smith's just done 5,000 in Sheffield and growing nicely. So don't worry about it. You know, I saw Ben Shalom have a pop at Jordan Thompson, saying the guy's not even English title level. Come on. It's very disrespectful. Let's not get silly now. I know you're getting hot under the collar, but just control yourself, you know? And it's good. Listen, we all know that Ben Shalom doesn't really give interviews. He chooses not to, you know, take questions. I like this. Let's get the open forum going. I mean, it's great fun.
Do you foresee a situation where, if I had said to you 12 months ago, you and Frank Warren would be out on these dinners, you would have laughed at me and said I was a nutcase, right? If I said to you now in 12 months' time, do you foresee a situation where you and Ben Shalom are playing a bit of golf in Essex?
I don't know. I mean, my dad's always said to me, "You'll love Frank Warren's company," right? And I actually do, like, genuinely. At dinner, like, I don't know if Ben's might necessarily my cup of tea. Some people are, some people aren't. But you know, we are operating out of this. And Frank now, you know, with all this Saudi stuff, it's just the most enjoyable experience. And, you know, I will always do business with everybody, including Skye, including Ben Shalom. Whether I socially like him, I don't really care. I do business with loads of people I don't socialise with, you know. And he gets a lot of stick. Like, I read the comments, and it's a bit brutal. Like, he's doing, you know, I was young once, you know, taking on the game, and good luck to him. And, you know, we'll see if he stands the test of time. I'm sure that he's a good operator. But you just learn as you go. Yeah, everyone makes mistakes. I made loads coming through as well.
Let me get your opinion on the Conor Benn situation. Eddie, is it fair to say that possibly Conor Benn will fight in America next and then back to the UK with this whole situation?
I hope not. No, I hope not. You know, I'm still hopeful that his next fight will be in the UK. But timing, you know, you haven't had any news for a reason, because discussions are still ongoing, and it's not my choice, my option. So I can't say too much other than hopefully soon we'll have some news. It's all I can tell. It's been nearly 2 years since the test in June.
What did you make of Fabio Wardley's comments with Coogan?
That was nice. You know, I probably shouldn't have backed against. I got put on the spot about the fight, and I just had a feeling that Fraser might edge the fight on points. But I probably should have been a little bit more loyal than that and just backed Fabio anyway. Fabio's comments made me feel, they gave me a little warm and fuzzy feeling, you know, in a sport And Fabio's really taken advice off people who they want to make the best moves for Fabio. They're not actually bothered about loyalty. They're in a cutthroat business. They're looking at the best opportunities for Fabio, and that's fine. Do you know what I mean? I don't have a problem with that. And Fabio said it himself. I'm who he wants to be with, but if there's a better deal, he'll go with someone else. So if you are that way, then it's a two-way street. Do you know what I mean? If you're with me, if you say, I want to be with you, I know you'll do the best for me, I will have your back till the very end in every way, shape and form. And I'll be a massive asset to your career. If you want to chop and change and you want to see how it is and one day you're with me, one day you're not, we're still friends. But it's a different kind of loyalty, it's a different kind of feeling. So when he said that, it made me think I want to bring Fabio back to Matchroom, really. But Fabio, of course, he's involved in the decision-making process. He's got people who are on the team who are really not making the decisions for him, but guiding him certain ways. And hopefully we can work together again. I like Fabio. I think he's done fantastically well. I don't want to see him have too many fights like that. I know people do because they love to see it, but it's a very physically taxing fight.
Not many more for me because I know you're pushed for time. But Katie Taylor, last time we spoke, I was actually in America. Katie Taylor was meeting you in America. She had discussed that she wanted to fight in Vegas. You're back in Vegas, Fontainebleau. I'm putting two and two together here. Is there a possibility that Katie Taylor's next fight is going to be in Las Vegas and not in Ireland?
Yeah, I think it's likely her next fight will be in America. It could be in Las Vegas. Could be anywhere in America. I think she's become a huge global star. Someone asked me on a previous interview about the Serrano fight. Absolutely, Serrano rematch is an option for the next fight. I think it's a huge fight, but we'll have to see. But I do think her next fight will end in America.
And will that be in June time? Does that mean there is no Dublin show?
Yeah, no Dublin show in May or June at the moment. And expect Katie Taylor to fight in America around that time.
Will she be the headline in America around that time, or?
We'll see. We'll see on the show.
Edward, obviously, just need to get your opinion. You went and watched Devin Haney train yesterday. Just tell me a little bit about how Devin looks.
Looks great. Consummate professional. Probably a little bit frustrated because a lot of people have been second guessing whether the Ryan Garcia fight's going to happen. Now they realise it is. So we've got 2 weeks to go. People going, wow, it's actually on. And now the build-up's going to be huge. Fight week's going to be huge. He looks great. He's motivated. One of the hardest workers you'll ever meet. And I believe he's going to dominate the fight and win the fight by stoppage on April 20th. So, as always, big performance ahead from Devin and looking forward to seeing him in New York.
Are you going to be there for the whole fight week? And what's your role going to be in that fight week?
Yeah, I'll be there. Look, it's in association with Matchroom, but doesn't really mean a great deal other than, we had an auction with him and we're on his team and I'm there to support him as a friend. So we'll be pushing the fight, but I'll be there, willing him on and seeing him get over the line once again.
Eddie, last one. We're waiting on the 5v5 news. You've mentioned that Ray Ford might not be on it. Doesn't look as if he's going to be ready. He was involved in the promo shoot, I believe, going by social media. What's the situation there?
There's a lot of people involved in the shoot. Some people are going to be ready for June 1st. Some aren't. So there's a couple of changes to the original lineup and plan that might come into play. But Monday, April 15th, all will be revealed.
Can you give us a bit of an idea of what those changes are? Is it not going to be 5v5 anymore? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, it will be 5v5. Of course it will be. Yeah. So but just maybe one of our original picks won't be in the lineup. That's all.
All right. Well, Edward, it's been a pleasure. I've finally got
Cheers,
you.
Mate.
Appreciate it. Wall Street Memes Casino.
I'm fine.
And Sportsbook.